If there's one way to describe ADHD, it's outside the box. Outside the box of society, outside the box of normal thinking, and in a word,
hello there,
unconventional. By the way, if you're wondering where I am right now, I'm in my hallway. My studio is right there, but I broke my camera lens, so I have to use a backup, which happens to be a huge telephoto lens that's super zoomed in. And while I think it would be funny to do a whole video like this, probably get old fast. So we're making do with what we've got. For better or worse, our brains work differently. That's why you'll hear the term neurodiverse used to describe our condition. Diverse meaning different, neuro meaning of the nervous system. And of course, up here in the brain is where most of your nerves live. Suffice to say, in a world that's built for the majority, normal thinkers, operating normally as an abnormal thinker is a challenge. And like any normal thinker, when faced with a challenge, we seek solutions. The problem, however, is that we seek normal solutions for abnormal challenges. So what is a normal solution? A solution that you can find readily. A solution that you can find with a quick Google search or that you'll hear from a teacher or a neurotypical friend. Solutions that sound like they should work and have worked for a lot of other people, yet
they don't work for you.
Normal solutions are for normal thinkers. Abnormal thinkers, or outside of the box thinkers, need outside of the box solutions. So today, I'm going to give you 12 outside of the box solutions for your ADHD challenges. Then we're going to talk about the process of creating your own to make you an unstoppable, abnormal force in a world of boring little normal-minded normal people. I feel like Les Stroud. Survivor Man, anyone? Now, before I get into this stuff, you might be asking yourself,
who the hell is this guy to be talking about this stuff? You wannabe social media self-help guru loser?
First off, harsh. Secondly, believe it or not, in addition to the social media stuff, I actually work for a real psychology practice as an executive functioning coach. I myself am not a physician or a neuroscientist or have any cool letters after my name besides ADHD, but I do work with doctors and know enough about this stuff to help in a professional sense. In fact, a lot of the strategies that I'm about to go over with you are things that I've actually implemented with clients and that have helped. So I hope you trust that I'm not just a bald piece of talking out my ass because I've got nothing better to do with my miserable life. Excuse me. We're going to start with one of my personal favorites. Papering your desk. I've talked ad nauseum about the importance of cognitive offloading, whether it's capturing your ideas and thoughts, expanding on them, remembering them. It is absolutely essential to get that out of your head as fast as possible. The paper on the desk is a great way to always be able to do that, always be able to see it. Because as you very well know, once it's out of sight, it's out of... Hold on. Mind. Once your paper's filled up, take a pick, repaper. Numero dos. Vertical to-do list. To-do lists are important, but they have a tendency to get lost in the shuffle. But by simply changing the orientation of it, it's going to be more in your face and out of the bouillabaisse, which is the clutter on your desk. I'm still workshopping that expression. Just get some cardboard, cut it up, cut some sticky notes, and voila.
Just use your monitor.
No. Unless you can make your monitor a true dedicated space for just your to-do list, it's not going to work. Computer monitors have a tendency to become breeding grounds for random reminders and prosaic affirmations. Rule number 1, or 2, or 3. There can be no clutter on your to-do list. Number 3, go to the gym to work out your skills. My wife's gonna be pissed when she sees that. I'm planning on making an entirely separate video on exercising your skills, particularly your executive functioning skills. But if you want to improve your soft skills, wanting isn't enough.
Have a physical place that you can go to, preferably outside of your house or your office, where you can exercise those skills. Just like how you would go to the gym to exercise your body. Want to start waking up early but can't bring yourself to actually do it? Find a friend who also wants to wake up early and start doing wake-up calls. Trade off every day who calls and who answers. This leverages external motivation, which is super powerful, where internal motivation just isn't cutting it.
Number 5, do wall sits as you plan. Yes, this sounds crazy, but the problem that a lot of us face is deviating from the process. Sometimes as soon as we start, we end up wasting a lot of time and not actually completing our plan. By getting up and doing a wall sit or squat or plank,
You're imposing pressure on yourself to get through the task as fast as possible and keep you focused. Have trouble paying attention to lectures or meetings? Of course you do. This one won't work for everyone, but it definitely will work for some, and it absolutely works for me, and I love it.
as you're listening to people speak, instead of trying to take notes,
Actively try to convert what you're hearing into images in your head and try to make them flow together like a movie. Not only does this make the process of listening more interesting and engaging, it also makes it much easier to recall information later, similar to how the mind palace technique works. And by the way, if you're not familiar with that one, it's worth looking into. Number 8, xTiles.
trusted you.
It's an ad. You're doing an ad right now, aren't you? They sponsored this video. You. I like their product. You. xTiles is great for outside-of-the-box thinkers because you don't have to conform to rigid structures put in place for normal thinkers.
How so? Well, think of any other organization or task management tool that you've used in the past. You get a column to put all your stuff in.
Or you have something like Trello, where you get multiple columns to put stuff in. With xTiles, on the other hand, your workspace is a grid, so you're not constrained to that column format. And that allows you to set things up in a way that works for your brain instead of trying to squeeze yourself into a mold that you don't quite fit into. And by the way, to show you I'm not just making stuff up, here are a few of my notebooks. Grid paper.
Grid paper. Grid paper. Grid paper.
The one notebook I have that doesn't have grid paper is this Batman Moleskine because I thought it was awesome. But you'll notice
that most of it isn't filled out. Whereas all of my other notebooks are completely full. Grids. Yes, grids. Numero 8. Have trouble waking up in the morning? Put a caffeine pill on your nightstand, set 2 alarms. The first one 30 minutes before you want to wake up, one when you want to wake up. When that first alarm goes off, take the caffeine pill, go back to sleep. When your second alarm goes off, wake up with caffeine in your system and feeling good. 9, have trouble eating due to your medication? You've probably tried downing a protein shake in the morning just to get something in your stomach, but it's not enough, right? A little later on in the day, you feel like you have a hole in your stomach, but the thought of putting something else in it is even worse than that. Well, if you're a meathead, you've probably heard of mass gainers before. They are protein shakes that are loaded with fat and carbs and top the caloric scales, sometimes at over 2,000 calories per serving. 2,000 calories is a lot, and in this case, 6 of these big-ass scoops makes up a shake. Probably don't need that much. But you, of course, can take less than a full serving just to get enough in your stomach to hold you over until your appetite-suppressing medication wears off. It's a great option. The caveat here is mass gainers can be a little pricey. This one, for example, is only 5 servings in this entire bag. I don't remember the price, but it wasn't cheap. So the best thing to do is look for the maximum number of calories per serving and stretch it as far as you can. Alternatively, you can make a protein shake with protein, oats, raw oats directly in the blender, and a banana. Blend it up, chug it, you'll get your calories. This just requires dirtying more dishes, which I hate. 10, get a cheap alarm clock and use it to set alarms on your phone so it's easier to avoid your phone in the mornings and night because as you know, as soon as that phone is in your hand, all hell breaks loose. This alarm clock was so cheap that it doesn't work anymore. 11. Are you often asking yourself, where the hell did the time go? Set up your phone and record yourself carrying out a process. Something for work, getting ready in the morning.
Then watch it back sped up and take notes.
Recording yourself is a great habit. And I don't mean like this. It gives you an opportunity to step back and evaluate yourself in a way that's just not possible in the moment or when thinking back to something that happened. Number 12, make a long linear calendar. This is another thing that I've talked about a lot and will probably continue to talk about until you tell me to shut the hell up. And then I'll probably keep talking about it, but I think regular calendars suck.
By taking a calendar and stretching it out linearly, you can get a good sense of what's coming up and how much time you have left to do it.
So my mic cut out and I have no idea what I was trying to say right here. So let's just move on to creating your own ADHD solutions. Step 1, start with the problem. I can't keep my space clean. Step 2, find the normal solution to the problem. Tidy as you go. Put things back where they belong right after using them, like dishes in the sink after meals or clothes in the hamper after changing. So helpful. Make your bed. Start each day by making your bed, setting a clean tone for the room. Another golden nugget. Declutter regularly. Go through your belongings and donate or discard items you don't use. Groundbreaking. Designated storage. Have designated spots for everything? Don't know why I read that like a question. Have designated spots for everything like Have designated spots for everything like a shelf for books, a drawer for keys, and a laundry basket. Wow.
Quick daily cleaning. Wipe down counters, dust surfaces, and sweep floors regularly. Do laundry often. Don't let clothes pile up. Wash laundry frequently and put it away immediately. Clean up after meals. Wash dishes right after eating and wipe down the table. Wipe down surfaces after each use. Clean the bathroom sink and shower after each use. Sweep high traffic areas. Regularly vacuum or sweep areas where you walk the most. Deep clean periodically. Schedule a day for more thorough cleaning such as cleaning windows, appliances, and
Now,
baseboards.
once again, these are all solutions that sound good. Like, you know, theoretically they should work, but deep down, you just know that they're not going to. Don't you? So let's take a look at the first one. Tidy as you go, put things back where they belong right after using them. Makes sense, but how? So there's a gap here. The theory is good. We can see how it would work for other people, but there's something about our behaviors that prevents us from carrying it out consistently. So what is it? Well, that brings us to step 3, partner. Identify the impeding behavior. In this case, it's definitely an executive functioning issue. More specifically, a little bit of self-monitoring, flexible thinking, organization, and working memory thrown in the mix. If you're focusing on a task, anything outside of the scope of that task is going to put an additional load on your mental processing in areas that you likely have a deficit in. Step 4, address the impeding behavior. There are 2 ways to go about this, the easy way and the hard way. Do you want to do this the easy way or the hard way? Is a long game approach. Yes, you have an executive functioning deficit, but at the end of the day, your executive functions are skills after all, and skills can be exercised and improved. How you go about that is a whole nother video, but the important thing to understand here is unless you improve those skills or you go about things the easy way I'm about to describe, you can't expect yourself to carry out this solution. Now let's talk about the easy way, which is in essence coming up with creative ways to bypass the need to use those executive functions. Have pens all over your desk? Tape a string to your pens and hang them off the side of your desk. Put a little label so you know what's what. When you're done using the pens, throw it off the side of your table. You're bypassing the need to go out of your way to put your pens away. And why stop at pens? Hang your tape, stapler, a magnet that you could attach paper clips to, whatever. And I know this might seem a little ridiculous, but any opportunity you have to shave even just one step off a process will make you far more likely to adhere to it. Besides, ridiculous is good. Loose papers all over the place, spread them all out on your desk and take a picture. Throw away the ones that you don't need a physical copy of, stuff all the other ones in a box so you can grab them if you do ever need them, but you'll always have that digital copy to save you from the clutter. Speaking of throwing out, don't just keep a trash bin by your desk, keep a big trash bin by your desk. Little ones get full fast, and when they do get full, disposing of that trash takes you away from whatever you're working on. Bigger bin, less trips, less often. If you have one takeaway from this video, I hope it's this. There's a reason why solutions that you've tried to implement in the past haven't worked, and it's not your fault. There are solutions that will work for you, for any challenges you have, but you'll likely need to create them yourself. That process will get easier over time and eventually become second nature. Your brain works differently. so will your solutions. Thank you for listening. I would absolutely love to hear from you in the comments about any outside-of-the-box solutions that you've come up with. By the way, I also have a Discord server, the Broken Clocks Club, where you can learn from and share ideas with other ADHDers. Please like, subscribe, bell, whatever. I love you, and I'll leave you with this. 2 pigeons fly into a house. One of the pigeons looks at the other, and one is holding a briefcase, and one looks at the other and asks, what